Hello friends, this is Dr. Amarjit Kaur, Professor of Accounting and Business Communication at the Department of Management, Gurugram University, Gurugram. Today I am going to talk about diversity training, and in this we are going to talk the classification of diversity training and the tips that how to carry diversity training. So, when it comes to classification or categories of diversity training, depending on the need of the employees, organization would use different types of diversity training. We know diversity training is required to bring inclusive environment. We understand that diversity is a reality nowadays, especially when the businesses have gone global. So, since the workforce is now diverse, so training those people who are working in the team becomes essential, so that they are treating others inclusively with respect, and there is a harmony amongst the team members. So that is why the diversity training is needed, and there could be two bases upon which we can categorize these trainings. The first one is the awareness based training. The second one is skill based diversity training. So what is awareness based diversity training? Let's understand that. It focuses on educating employees on the issues of marginalized communities. Training encourages empathy for those who face issues regarding their culture and identity, amplifies similarities between members of minority and majority groups. So let's understand this awareness based diversity training. So what does it focus at? It focuses on educating only, right? So all the issues which pertains to minority group or marginalized group, so employees are educated, they are made aware of. So purpose of this training is to make employees aware of these issues. And whereas this training also encourages that to develop empathy for those who face issues of diversity regarding their culture or their identity. This difference could not just be for a particular aspect. This can lead to, in effect, to such extent that person may doubt his identity even, and the such person could be part of your team. The purpose of this training is, number one, to make aware people about the diverse cultures, diverse team members, and also to encourage and develop empathy. And it also amplifies similarities, just does not focuses on the diversity we have, but also to amplify similarities, to speak loud and very loudly that these are the similarities of minority and majority group, because it's just not the diversity we have. After all, we all are humans, right? We may have many things which are common. So there are certain emotional things which are required by anybody or everybody, be it a person of 20 years age or 80 years of age, be it a person who is Indian origin, of an American origin, or a European. There are certain things which are needed by all of us. So those similarities needed to be celebrated along with the diversity, right? So those minority and majority groups, they know, they should know that these are the similarities. Only if they identify the similarities they have, they would know the differences as well, the diversity as well. So this is the awareness based diversity training. Further, it provides with thoughtfulness of the legal requirements of treat others with equity and respect, encourages employees to consider the challenges that marginalized groups face, and it provides meaningful feedback to improve the workplace culture. So it provides with the thoughtfulness of the legal requirements, that to treat others with equity, with respect, because people who go through the training, they will develop their thinking that this is not only the legal requirement to treat with others with equity, but actually humanly or otherwise we require to treat everyone with equity, with respect. But nevertheless, the moment the legal requirements are said or mentioned, then it becomes even more important. The another point regarding awareness based diversity is it encourages employees to consider the challenges that marginalized group. It's just not that simple for the people who come from minorities, right? They face many challenges. So this training program, it encourages employees to consider those challenges which are faced by the minority group. The another point is that it provides meaningful feedback to improve the workplace culture. So, the training program, when it is happening, the trainers generally are from the trained background, they are experts in this area, and they will give feedback to the people who are attending, that this is what you can, because they will simply interact with the attendees, and they will figure out that these are the points of differentiation, these are the points where people have diversity, and he or she, whosoever is the trainer, they will provide meaningful feedback, and it will improve the workplace culture automatically, because that feedback, if given in a positive stride and is given with a focus to improve the culture, people who have genuine concern, people who have genuine interest in a better or performance of the company or the team, they will pay attention to it, and it will certainly improve the work culture. Coming to skill based diversity training, the kind of training that provides employees and others related people with the tools they need to create an inclusive environment. Experts work hard to recognize internal biases as well as the systemic issues surrounding a particular diversity topic. So, this kind of training, which we call as skill based training, is targeting to develop tools. In awareness, the purpose was to apprise people. Here, to actually develop certain tools, certain skills to deal with diverse situation, right? So, the expert will work really hard to recognize those internal biases by in it could be one-on-one session, it could be group discussions, through role plays. The experts would recognize that there could be some systemic issues, but deep rooted issues in the system. So, through these training sessions, we can actually learn about those issues and address those issues accordingly. This training often yields more tangible results as it targets for actionable solution to inequality and exclusion at workplace. Exercises, role plays are carried out by experts, and they address the topics such as microaggression, cross-culture communication, etc. So, this training ultimately yields into tangible results, actionable points. So, that is the skill-based diversity training. Now, I would like to talk about certain tips for diversity training, how to make the training more effective, more useful. So, I am going to discuss about 16 points here. Number 1, start with member of top management. Number 2, be productive. Number 3, hire diverse expert. Number 4, continue dialogue about diverse issues. Let us discuss these 4 first, and then we will move to the next slide. So, number 1, start with members of top management. So, to ensure that people perceive that diversity training is important and is being considered important and honored by all in the organization, it is said, it is suggested that such training should begin with the top management, not with the bottom of the pyramid, not with the junior most people. So, this will give automatically a message that if the top management has been going through the training for diversity, it is important. Why should I also not attend this? And the second point, second tip is that we should be proactive. We should not let any discrimination incident happen and then think of conducting training programs. Company should be thinking in advance, should be proactive in designing diversity trainings and holding them well on time. Number 3 is that hire diverse expert. When company is hiring experts, it should just not hire experts from one gender, one community, one that experts which are coming, even they should be coming from various sections of the society. Automatically the message goes around that the trainers are also of diverse nature and diverse background. So selection of experts from diverse angles, it actually exhibits sport. It exhibits that how you are practicing. It exhibits the practice of the company, that they actually believe in diversity. Fourth point was it continued dialogue about diverse issues. We should just not end up holding the training on diversity, but we should continue. There should be perpetual dialogue between various stakeholders, be it top and middle management or employees or suppliers or customers. Everywhere we should have continued dialogue about diverse issues. Number 5, practice an inclusive culture. Number 6, develop clear values of the company. Number 7, use both categories of training. Number 8, commit to perpetual training. So, let me discuss these 4 points and then we will move to the next slide. So, practice an inclusive culture means it should just not be that we are conducting training. It should not just be on the paper or any compliance part. It should actually sound through practices of the top management, team leaders, everybody from bottom to top should be honoring others. It should not be that trainings are conducted only for a mid-level. At the bottom level, people are really not respecting each other. So, we need to create a culture to ensure there is a practice of inclusive culture. The next point was that we should develop clear values of the company, right. Point number 6 is that it should just not be vague statements about the values and the practices. We should, the moment we have a very clear statement about the values which drives the operations of a company, automatically the people will, this will be one of the values, that we value diversity, and the moment it is said loud and clear, people will it will actually have a very good diversity training. People will believe in that. Use both categories of training, that we have awareness training category and we have skill based training category. So, to ensure that our training programs are effective, we should not only just conduct to skill based or the awareness, we should conduct both of the kind of trainings first for our employees. Commit to perpetual training, it's the commitment of the top management is the utmost important. Unless we are committed for the continued training program, it could be one session on awareness of X gender, another session could be on awareness of languages, third session could be, so we should have perpetual training. We may have employees who were not there in the previous training session, so we need to conduct training session for the new joinees, right. So, that is why this perpetual training is very essential, and it shows the commitment of the company towards diversity. Number 9 is enforce rules to ensure tolerant behavior. Number 10 is follow up after training. Number 11 is hire expert speakers. Number 12 is discover ways to involve employees. So, enforce rules to ensure tolerant behavior, right. So, we should have very strict rules to ensure that intolerant behavior is not accepted, or rules to ensure that the behavior is tolerant by others, by the company. So, to ensure that such kind of behavior exists or is practiced, it's important that rules, regulations are framed very well, they are in black and white, they are shared by everyone during the orientation, during the joining program, because most of the people who join the company, they are trained before joining the work, they are oriented, they are inducted, right? So such rules should be existing and should be discussed and shared. It's just not that rules are there and nobody knows about those rules. Those rules which pertain to ensuring tolerant behavior, those rules which enforce that tolerant behavior should be shared by everyone. It should in fact be available on the website of the company. It should be forming part of the docket which is prepared for welcoming new employees. So that's what it is needed. So number 10 is follow up after training. There should be, training is one thing, but unless there's a feedback, there's a follow up by the HR department or by the expert, that what is the outcome of the training, what did people learn, what did they adopt actually. It's not that everybody will just adopt whatever is discussed. People may like it but may not have adopted it, right? So there's need for having a follow up after training. Then 11 number point is hire expert speakers. So we should hire to make the diversity training more effective. We should just not take anybody and everyone, because there are people who are expert into diversity training. They would have example, they would have situations, roles which could be acted upon and would actually make people experiential learning, make people feel like experiential learning. So that's what is required to have experts to ensure the diversity training is more meaningful, more effective. So another point is that discover ways to involve employees. Many times the training programs are conducted, but if it is not made mandatory, many people may not just turn up for the training session, and it happens not only for training on diversity. Such things happen for many more things, that when we have training on any skill development other than diversity training, we observe such kind of behavior, provided there is a mandate to attend. So if it's possible for a company to make a mandate for employees to attend that training session, is fine. But if it is not, then companies need to find out the ways that how to involve employees. Everybody is not motivated enough to go for or come forward and attend that training, right? Especially the diversity training I am talking about. So the company should find various ways to involve employees, so that they also become part of the decision making. They also get to know exactly how can they honor others, how can they avoid any discrimination issue in their organization. So this is what is taken as or known as discover ways to involve employees. So there are 4 more points I want to discuss in this regard. Number 13, encourage participation. Number 14, be specific for a particular session. Number 15, invest in diversity training materials. Number 16, take stringent action. So number 13 is encourage participation. How does we do that so that the training program is effective, becomes very effective? So how can we encourage participation? We can, before sending the invite for or the time of the training etc., we can send the profile of the expert. We can send any reference as an issue which has happened at any other workplace. In the context, people are, so when we give that as a context, people get to feel the importance of such training, right? So it encourages participation by ensuring that people who are being asked or have been requested to attend the training, they know they understand that that it's important to participate in the diversity training. So, not only that, there could be some kind of award. For example, the first person who the person who reaches to the training center, during this minute or hour, or is the first to reach, is given some kind of bonus, some kind of voucher, etc., gift voucher, etc. And also we can, we can encourage participation by compulsion as well, by as a mandate, by sending a mandate or some reference to some law regulation, and we ensure that people are attending the session on diversity training. Then 14th number point is that we should try to be specific for a particular session, because diversity includes many aspects, right? So, many aspects are there. So, a particular session should always target for a particular aspect of the diversity. We cannot have one common session on diversity and which is meant for all, because there could be somebody who is not interested for X or Y or Z policy or situation, right? So, we have to be very very sure about that each session is conducted for a particular purpose, so that the others who are not sure about attending such an issue or such a session, they could take an informed decision. So, we have to be specific about a particular session. Then invest in diversity training materials. So, these people, they need to invest in diversity training. These companies, organizations, they have to invest in the material. It's just not that the training is conducted as an expert is been invited, an expert speaks about diversity, speaks about different situations on diversity, but not only that, we need to develop different material. The material could be on the website, material could be in the form of a brochure, it could be a printouts, page printouts or a number of pages as a part of the orientation docket, right. So, this is known as material to train the diversity. So, companies need to invest to ensure that the diversity training is carried successfully. Companies should invest in developing such kind of material. Posters are displayed at various places, mails are sent with creatives. So, developing those posters, flyers, mails, etc. need some effort, need some money, right? Some resources are required. So, companies need to invest into this. The last point here is that take stringent action. Now, we have discussed almost 15 points now, and now we have reached to 16th point, which as a tip for diversity training. Despite being very regular in conducting diversity training, despite being having specific issue or particular session for a particular purpose, even then we get to see cases of diversity or discrimination in companies. We get to see many things which are against these common things, right. In that situation where people are not getting they are not getting onto the path, they are not getting into the holistic culture, they are not getting into inclusive culture, companies need to take a stringent action against those people who fail to comply with inclusivity. So, such a stringent action will help companies to ensure the diversity training is actually taking place, it does take place, and people with diverse issues are welcomed, trained, etc. So, I hope whatever we have discussed is making some sense to you. We have discussed in detail about the skill based and awareness based program, right. We have discussed about the tips, various tips which are required by required by the companies to be practiced or to be followed to ensure there is a diverse culture being honored, being taken care, and that diverse culture is is not becoming any hurdle or not becoming any limitation in the growth of the company. Rather, it is that we should celebrate the diversity, we should celebrate the inclusivity, and such teams where we have diverse people or people with diverse background working there, it actually would end up or will result into very productive team if there is a respect, if there is a harmony, if there is a inclusivity being considered, being honored, being practiced. So, with this I would like to wind up now, and I hope you all could understand these tips and the categories of diversity training. So, time to sign off, friends. Thank you very much.